Alright, so for the first time ever, the, reality unraveled. So far, I've only had the computer freeze up while playing Final Fantasy XIV, and it just happened now while playing this, which is really confusing. Because we've done multiple hours of streaming this game and other games. This unfortunately means it didn't save, so I have to speed through all of this. Alright, so I'm not going to comment too much, because when I wind up uploading this to YouTube, I'll just cut out this entire part, redoing everything. I don't even know what to do now. Especially to have it happen, like, during a game that's obviously been running fine. Means that it's... Mem test? Yeah, I mean, that's one that I haven't run yet. But that's not going to test the GPU, really. I've run other benchmarks and had nothing bad happen. Bad RAM. Yeah, I don't think it's the RAM. I mean, my reasoning for thinking that it's not the RAM is that some of the times that it's happened, I get a blue screen with a specific stop code that says, thread stuck in device driver. And that the crash was caused by, you know, ATI whatever dot sys.
Hold it. Objection.
Isn't there a... No, I guess there is no... Oh, well, I can do this instead.
Hang on.
Yeah, memory can cause...
Objection.
Yeah, I guess that's one... That's... I had ruled that out a little too early. Maybe I should go and do that.
Objection.
After the stream's over. It's so weird, though. Like, that it finally happened here. We played several hours of Abduction. We played several hours of this. Several hours of Snakebird and Baba. Oops.
Objection.
Yeah, bad memory can random looking crashes depending on what's loaded on that memory on... Yes. That's true enough. I'll have to do that after we finish up here. Run some tests with memtest. Because that would be incredibly convenient if it turned out that it was just the RAM, and then I could replace that and be sure that everything was fine.
Objection.
I should also maybe think about saving it partway through here.
I say.
Hang on.
Even if mem test, it could be an issue with the CPU or memory controller or other related stuff. Also true, yeah. If swapping out the RAM doesn't fix it, it could be. Could it be the CPU? I mean, I could see it being part of the motherboard that, you know. Could be the CPU. Oh, it's so disappointing. Like, I don't know that I've ever had a problem like this before where I've put a computer together and it's been like, ah, yeah, there's something extremely elusive about a problem that it's having. Doop doop doo. Alright, let's do a save, just in case. Save Rooney. Boom, boom. It's just awful that it would because now, like, how do I ever know that it's fixed? If I could stream for a whole, you know, 3 weeks and not have it happen, and then it happens again. Oh, no. Alright, well, I guess I will lose the shield after all. Oh, just kidding. Did not lose a shield. I actually went looking for older versions recently, like yesterday, and couldn't find a good resource for them. I didn't look very hard.
Objection!
As a female witch, I can definitely say I did not curse your computer, despite Serpent's accusations. Was that what was happening while I was dead? While I was outside of the stream universe?
Objection!
If you can't provide evidence, that's true. The burden is on the accused.
Objection! Take that!
Tap, tap, tap.
Objection!
Alright, so we're almost back around to where we were. It's not it's not even the right moon phase to curse a computer. Alright, so we're back around to where we just were. Computer tragically crashed. We had to go through that part of the trial again. We are back. Or no, that's right. I went to do her first. Quite literally left me speechless.
Hold it.
It must have been pretty terrifying, huh? Don't say meta this time. Yes, it's the kind of thing you only read about in books. The moment that pillar of fire erupted, I could feel my throat tightening up. It was so difficult to breathe, I couldn't even manage so much as a scream. Oh, really? Quite. After all, the flames engulfed the scene in the blink of an eye. Yes, I'm sorry. That's why I can't really remember. So you can't remember the number of people at the crime scene? Naturally, that is understandable, witness. That's also why I was a little late getting to the scene compared to the others. Alright, now he's gonna say something that disagrees with that.
Hold it.
The tiniest cry. It might have been someone saying the incantation for that spell. My memory's kinda hazy on that one. Scared me good, though. Never jumped up to my feet so fast in all my life. Nearly had a heart attack, I tell ya. Jumped up? That's right. It was still raining cats and dogs, so being the resourceful chap that I am, I decided to doze under a tree for a bit.
Hang on.
Is everything all right, Mr. Wordsmith? What is it you want this time, young one? I just wanted to know if you had any thoughts on the testimony just now. Ah, yes. Thoughts about slumbering under the trees, you mean? Slumbering? I often find myself weaving the most intricate of dreams under that very tree. Of course, I could not nap tonight. Not with that uncouth man usurping my special dreaming spot, could I? Are you using this cross-examination to argue over a napping spot? Let us hope such arguments do not lead to any criminal acts in the future. Witness, please continue your testimony. Wait, that was weird, though.
Hold it.
Do I have to ignore the other guy and keep listening to this testimony?
I say.
Or did somebody else have a weird look on their face? So you slept under a tree in the rain. Anyway, I tried to put out the fire by chucking some of me drink at it. Amazingly, didn't do much good. He's still twirling.
Hang on.
Ow. No, same thing. Oh, Faded. Faded Oasis. Hello. We are continuing to have stream problems. It's the absolute worst. Oops. Cycled all the way back around. Is that it for the testimony? Is there something the matter, Mr. Wright? I hate to say it, but it looked like there weren't any contradictions. Is that right? Just as I thought. I suppose the only option at present is to try and coax some more information from the witnesses. You mean, catching them off guard, right? Precisely. Alright, it's worth a shot. Let's see how they respond to a little hard questioning. Alright. Right. But they ended up roasted, huh? Turns out Magic won that fight all right. This guy is unbelievable. Hey, thank you for the... So, did Volton Phase put you up to that, knowing for sure that my bot was not running? Oh, and you found a link. Okay, thank you. I will pull that up right now. I'll look at it later, but I'll pull it up right now so I don't lose it. Because the running joke with the thank faded command, I can't do it right now though because the bot's not running on this computer. All right, I'm gonna press on this. It is weird though that Twitch alerts also did not seem to pop anything up, which is even more confusing. But thank you just the same for the bits. Well, I believe so, but then when you think about it, can anyone really be absolutely certain of anything? Not in a Phoenix Wright game. It worries me that you're saying that in the middle of a cross-examination. I believe the witness means that there is no way she can be certain whether there were 4 witnesses or 5 at the crime scene. Anyhow, there was a matter of great importance that Snowy and I had to tend to. Ah, you must mean... That's right, the milk. If any soot had gotten into that milk, it would have been the greatest, most tragic, most awful event in human history. His beer is overflowing. She is fine. He is fine. He is fine. Alright.
Hang on!
Could I stop you there, mister? Mister! Harg! Whoa. Turn down the volume, Bluey. Eden's technology not working is sweet nectar. The nectar of the gods. Does anything come to mind regarding Ms. Mary's testimony? Nope, not really. Nothing important anyways. Just that I think this old lady is full of it. Huh? Talking about the milk, man. The milk! You'll know the second you try the stuff. It ain't nothing to write home about, let me tell you. What are you saying, you dolt? Who on earth would let you drink anything as delicious as the milk from my farm? A ruffian like you is better served by whatever unthinkable liquid is in that never-ending mug of yours. Never-ending mug? That's one of the spells in the Grand Grimoire. He's a witch. You guys using this cross-examination to argue over milk? Okay. Was there something else that she was going to say? Oh, wrong one.
Hold it!
Everything is broke. Soul Shadow is here, and everything is broke. Alright, he gets his beer. No use crying over spoiled milk, I say. Ahem, as I was saying, I ran as fast as I could to get the girl away from the flames. Did you? I think the milk bucket and wrapped it up in my scarf. Okay, so it wasn't that.
Hold it!
This is at least a slightly interesting twist on what you normally do for Phoenix Wright. So here, we are pressing on things and getting opportunities to go and further investigate something, but a number of them appear to be false leads, that there is nothing important in the fact that, oh, the guy was like, he was napping in my favorite spot. Like, doesn't matter. That is how it has come to pass. By the way, what do you mean by stumbling around like a newborn calf? Ah, yes, that was a man as inebriated as he was loud. Quite the humorous sight it was, I dare to say. He must mean the witness permanent glue to his cup of whatever it is he's drinking. When I saw the flames rise up into the sky, I wondered to myself, my word, whatever could that be? However, I could not simply walk over to check. My knees were a bit weak from shock, you see. That's when the wobbly-legged gentleman came running over. He's got something to say about that.
Hang on!
Something the matter, mister? Mister! Sir Blue Knight, next time please think before trying to press this witness. Looks like this guy even managed to scare Barnum half to death. Yes, this is still the first non-tutorial case. We've been going back and forth between Professor Layton sections and Phoenix Wright sessions, and this is the first Phoenix Wright session other than the tutorial. Now then, sir, about Mr. Wordsmith's testimony just now. He claimed you were stumbling around. What does he mean by that? I'm gonna set the record straight right now. In no way was I stumbling around anywhere. I'd like to think of it more like staggering with style. A responsible adult should know better than to go stumbling around in the dead of night. Hey, look. I don't just go stumbling around like some crazy idiot. I've got more sense than that. But anyway, I kinda tripped over a large stone. I mean, you don't exactly see what's on the ground in front of you when you're running at full pelt, right? So you could say I put my life out on the line, proving that you really need to watch where you're going when you run. Also, don't hold scissors while you run. How courageous of you. Someone give this guy a medal. Lord, this testimony is a meaningless waste of everyone's time. Well, Defender, is there a point to this particular line of questioning? Always. Always. Question further. Never let anything go. The witness stated earlier that he tripped over a large stone. I have one question for you. Why weren't you watching what was in front of you? Well, to be honest with you, ain't much of a real reason, but something suddenly caught me attention. Out of nowhere, I sort of heard someone call out my name. Does his name sound like Honoyo? Is that why it's been some guy all this time? Of course, I turned around when I heard it. Who wouldn't? When a woman calls your name, you pay attention, am I right? So you heard someone call out, "Hey, you," from behind, you mean? What? I said they called out my name. How many guys do you know called "Hey, you"? My name... Oh, it's not Honoyo, it's the other one. My name is Amir, and don't you forget it, Bluey, you hear me? I must say, this gentleman really does not strike me as an Amir. You know, Professor, it's not a very memorable name, huh? That's harsh. Honorable witnesses, is there anyone among you who was aware of this man's name prior to now? Not at all. He's always just been Mr. to me. A knight's name is only as good as the name of the sword he carries. It is the first I have heard of this. I dare say I did not expect his name to be one such as Amir. Give me that lie. Give me that lying lie, Kira. I'm sorry, but I didn't know his name either. I only remember the names of my most loyal customers. Okay. Looks like absolutely no one knew this witness's name. You know, it ain't really much of a surprise to me, either. Ha 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 ha! But seriously, I definitely heard someone call my name. When you get to be me age, you really start to wonder when you'll find that true love, you know? I found that pretty voice tonight might have been me sweetie. Your Honor, I don't believe we should be so quick to label Mr. Amir's testimony meaningless, would you not agree? I request that the witness add this amusing anecdote to his testimony. Understood. Witness, amend your testimony, but please reflect only the important parts of your story. I'm telling you, I heard someone call my name, and I was looking around trying to find him. I can just present it now, right?
Objection!
No, I was wrong.
Hold it!
Excuse me, Amir. Don't sweat it, Bluey. Mr. Hey you, it's all the same to me. You stated that you heard your name being called from behind. Are you absolutely sure about that? Well, right or wrong, it sure sounded like my name. I mean, what else could it have been? I wouldn't have remembered it happening if I hadn't heard something, right? Still. Maybe there's a chance I just imagined it, huh? But anyway, I remember it came from somewhere behind me. From somewhere behind you. Is something the matter, Mr. Wright? Amir's memory isn't the most accurate, but if what he says is true, then there's definitely something there. Something, you say? Might you mean a contradiction? Yeah, I think so. Although, I don't know. There's just something strange about his testimony. I don't see any decisive evidence in the court record that can help. Do you mean to say that you found a contradiction that cannot be supported by the evidence?
Objection!
Dabbing strike! My lord, this line of interrogation is a complete waste of the court's time. Defender, I must warn you, from here on, any unnecessary questioning will be dealt with accordingly. If I don't answer correctly here, it's curtains for the trial and for Espella. If you are intent on finding a fault in this witness's testimony, you will need to present decisive evidence to back up your claims. There's not one single piece of decisive evidence in the court record. What do I do now? Mr. Wright. Mr. Layton. I have an idea. I believe there is a weapon of sorts which you may be able to expose this contradiction without need of evidence. A weapon? Now, Defender, give us your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The defense finds that the witness's testimony you're never supposed to say this. Right? But what he said is true. I'm gonna try it. The worst that happens is that they go, oh, actually, I meant to say there is a contradiction. I hate to say it, but I can't bet Espella's life on this one. Oh. The defense has no further questions, Your Honor. Well, now, it would seem you do have some amount of common sense. He is disappointed. Mr. Wright, that voice. Mr. Wright, please, you can't give up. I didn't say give up. My fate is in your hands. I'm counting on you and Professor Layton. That's why I need you to go on. Please don't give up on me. Of course, I can't give up on Espella. I'd have to keep going. Your Honor, the defense believes there's a huge contradiction in the witness's testimony. See, I know all about Phoenix Wright.
Objection!
I knew I wasn't supposed to pick that. Dabbing crush! What is this? You must be an even bigger fool than I thought, Sir Blue Knight. Yeah, why don't we have a hangman's gambit? You really do not possess even a sliver of common sense, do you? If I may interrupt for just a moment, Inquisitor Bonham, allow me to ask this. What need is there for common sense in a world that forgoes using it? Accordingly, I must humbly ask that you discard such a manner of thinking. Whatever do you mean? You have my utmost thanks for placing your trust in me, Mr. Wright. Let us discuss the one remaining weapon in this cross-examination. The remaining weapon? This trial has taught us a valuable new technique to be used in the courtroom, has it not? You mean questioning, right, Professor? Indeed it is, Luke. Each of the witnesses in this trial has given their own account of what occurred. Therefore, whenever one witness has testified, the other remaining witnesses have listened. That gives me an idea. In addition to catching a witness off guard and questioning them about another testimony, there is one more thing. You mean I can attach the silencer to my gun to shoot down white noise? There's something else we can get from a 5-person cross-examination? That's right, of course. Indeed, Mr. Wright, contradictions. Should one witness's testimony differ from another's testimony, then I suppose that in itself can be considered a contradiction, can it not? Doesn't it obviously? Testimony contradicting testimony. I never would have thought about that until now. Enough. Sir Blue Knight, are you prepared to present to the court evidence proving the contradiction within the witness's testimony? See, I told you the right answer was no. I told you the right answer was no. You didn't believe me. It contradicts a testimony. What are you talking about? It is time, Mr. Wright. Have a look at the touch screen. There, you will see the testimony of the witness in question as well as of the other witnesses. Keep your eyes peeled and identify the contradicting testimony. We have to absorb one of the weak points and shoot it into another. Got it.
Objection.
The person contradicting this man's testimony is none other than you, Miss Kira. Are you both pointing at me? At the time of the incident, that man heard someone's voice call his name. That voice belonged to you, Miss Kira. It could not have been anyone else. And yet, in your testimony, you stated that you were in such shock during tonight's events that you couldn't even speak. This is a clear contradiction.
Objection.
What? What is the meaning of this, defender? Can you really claim to trust this sham of a witness and his sham of a testimony?
Objection.
It's your witness! That man's character is beside the point. His testimony is anything but a sham. As he watched the flames erupt, his attention was drawn to a voice behind him, which in turn made him fall over. He heard a woman's voice calling his name, a very concrete reason, and reason enough to believe his testimony.
Objection.
Oh, that's also true. Alright, he's not really anyone's witness. He's a wild card witness. If it is as you say, then explain why you feel this witness is somehow responsible. That's right, why me? People barely hear me when I'm out selling my flowers. That's how soft my voice is. And besides, there was another woman at the scene, wasn't there? Me? What are you getting at, young lady? Do you honestly think a woman my age would be out late at night in the forest flirting with questionable men? Besides, I didn't even know this pathetic man's name. How could I have called out to him? Neither did I. And even if I did know his name, do you really think he's the kind of guy any self-respecting girl would want? Ouch. Come on, ladies. I'm standing right here, you know. As I was saying, the only person that guy could have heard from behind him was you, Ms. Kira. The defense wishes to present evidence to prove this claim. To accuse a witness like this young lady here, why, this is simply unheard of. I must warn you, Defender, if you cannot prove your accusation to this court, you will see the underside of my gavel. Show us the evidence proving this young lady was the one who called out to this man at the time of the crime. Is this, like... This, Do they want the fact that it was behind him? Is that what they want? Or do they want the Amir thing? I'm gonna give them the map.
Take that.
Yes, okay. Okay. Take a look at this and you'll have your answer. This is the crime scene sketch. You can see the position of each witness during the crime. The only person he could possibly have heard from behind him was none other than Ms. Kira.
Objection.
Dabbing blow! Listen here, Sir Blue Knight, I will only tell you this one more time. A sham of a witness yields only a sham of a testimony. That is all there is to it. Did you, in fact, see this flower girl's face? You know, now that you mention it, seeing as I'd fallen down and all, I don't think I saw her face. Okay, but you heard her voice, right? Let me think. The voice came out of nowhere. It was kinda high-pitched. And I guess it kinda sounded like her, but I can't be sure whether or not it was this girl's voice. And there you have it, Sir Blue Knight. Such a pity. Huh? Dabbing smash! My lord, it is clear that the defense's claim is nothing but a pointless waste of the court's time. I recommend you deliver unto them a penalty befitting such behavior. Indeed, Inquisitor. Ready yourself, Defender. What is that laughter? Pardon me, my lord. It looks like you finally arrived at a decision. That means this has nothing to do with me. Isn't that right, Inquisitor Barnum? What are you saying? I'm saying that it's time for me to stop peddling testimony and get back to peddling flowers. I mean, look at all of these flowers left over. It's going to take until sunrise to sell them all if I stay here any longer. Or maybe, my lord, you and the rest of the court would be interested in buying an entire stock of flowers to help a girl out. No, I don't think... I mean... Oh, then it's settled. Now, if you'll excuse me, my apologies for the interruption. Understood. The court will dismiss the witness. Well, Ms. Kira, it would seem you are beginning to show the court your true colors. Oh? Whatever do you mean? Okay then, everyone. It looks like that's that.
Hold it.
Wait, you can't leave yet. This cross-examination isn't over. Now that's funny. You say it isn't over, and yet the rest of the court seems to think otherwise. Isn't that right, Inquisitor Barnum? Dots. The Inquisition maintains that the real witch is the accused, Espella Cantabella. This girl is nothing more than a witness. As such, the court cannot force her to stay against her will. This is bad. If they let her walk out now... Nick, do you think she could be? Yes, I do. The real witch. You really like throwing around accusations, don't you, Sir Defender? Let me spell it out for you. Only witches use spells. She's a witch. QED. CQC QED. I didn't know this man's name at all before today. I still don't remember it. So, how could I have called out to him? Do you get it now? Now then, until we meet again. Mata ashta. Don't forget to buy some flowers on your way home, everyone.
Hold it.
Hold it. One moment, please, Miss Kira. Is there something else you wanted? You don't seem to realize what you just let slip. What are you talking about? This man testified that he heard his name called at the crime scene. However, you had no knowledge of his name at the time, is that correct? That's right. This weirdo is just imagining things. Like I said, I've already forgotten his name, even though he told it to us earlier. There is just one problem, Miss Kira. Namely, what the voice he heard tonight was actually saying. Huh? What do you mean? Oh, that's obvious. It was a name, wasn't it? Now, what was that name again? My lord, I'm still right here, you know. You're saying that what this man heard tonight wasn't a name, but rather something else entirely? Indeed I am, Inquisitor Bonham. Something else? Gosh! It's kind of silly when they drag it out this far. Oh, he's getting serious. The background disappeared. My computer's going to use all the processing power on just Phoenix and not the background. There's only one other thing it could be. It's a stretch, but the possibility is there. That's right, Mr. Wright. That single possibility is the key to solving this mystery. He's been sent to the Shadow Realm. Is the defense ready to present its evidence to the court? This is ridiculous. I demand you let me go this instant. Dabbing, stay here. Witness, what you are being accused of is not to be taken lightly. You will not leave this courtroom so long as reasonable doubt remains. Whoa. He just used the term reasonable doubt. Be careful. Be careful where you're stepping, sir. You are dangerously close to being in a real courtroom. You may present your evidence. Show the court what the voice this man knows. It's just this.
Take that!
Slam. Excuse me, mister. I'm sorry. What's your name again? You've, got a name that no one seems to be able to remember for some reason. Hey, it's Amir. My name's Amir, darn it. How many times have I gotta say it? No matter the number of times you say it, you do not look like an Amir. Again, I only remember my most loyal customers' names, and he doesn't look like he could afford even a single daisy. Come on, guys, stop kicking a guy when he's down. Mr. Amir, what you heard tonight at the crime scene was not your name. Your name just so happens to sound exactly like a certain other name. Another name? The answer is right here in this tome. I'm talking about Amir. What he actually heard at the time wasn't his own name. It was the name of a magical incantation. What the? Is he really a... Is Amir really a pirate? He's supposed to be a rural Englishman, but they played his voice once, and I nailed it perfectly. I'm like, I've got his voice. But that was last stream. This stream, I don't remember it. Ms. Kira, have you forgotten what you said just a few minutes ago? You quite clearly stated that you didn't know this man's name. Ugh. Sir Blue Knight, let me get this straight. You're saying that the Amir heard by the witness was actually said by this flower girl, and that it was not his name at all, but rather the incantation of a magic spell? Yes, that is what I'm saying. The defense proposes the following. The true criminal, this supposed witch, is not the defendant, Mrs. Spella Cantabella, but instead the witness who was heard uttering the magic incantation. Ms. Kira, she's our witch. Now, transform for us. You used magic to vanish from the scene and tried to frame Miss Cantabella instead. Also, it's well known that witches eat flowers. What just happened? Is that girl? Is Espella really not a witch? Unbelievable. I've never heard anything like this. Inquisitor Barnum. Have those two really defeated Inquisitor Barnum?
Objection!
Dabbing punch. An impressive display, Sir Blue Knight. It would seem you have finally managed to hone your blade. However, I believe that blade's edge is already beginning to dull. What do you mean? I am referring to a contradiction, naturally. Hey, that's my line. My lord, the Inquisition would like to set the record straight regarding what transpired this evening. Her name is Espella. It has spell in it. She does have to be a witch. And she probably is. Let's be honest. Sir Blue Knight, you claim the following. At the time of the crime, the accused, Espella Cantabella, was surrounded by the two rogues. Then, in order to frame the accused as a witch, Miss Kira cast the spell Demir and made herself vanish. She then moved in closer to the victims. Poor guy. At which point she cast Honoyo, thus causing the incident seen by our witnesses tonight. Indeed, that does seem to be the claim. The problem is what happened next. There is a contradiction in the defense's account of Miss Kira's movements. A contradiction in her movements? Allow me to continue. The witnesses have stated they each ventured out towards the crime scene. Which is when Ms. Kira, the witch, made her way to this point while still invisible. When she arrived at said spot, she then cast a mirror and reappeared to join the other witnesses. And there you have it. That is accurate, isn't it, Sir Blue Knight? That's correct. Then, Mr. Emir heard her call his name. Well then, I have but one question that I would like you to answer. Why would a witch need to do such a thing? What do you mean? Supposing Ms. Kira were a witch, surely she would not have made the conscious decision to reappear when she did. One would imagine she would remain hidden and flee the crime scene. Whoa! Quite right, that's what I would do if I was a witch. Given that point, there would be no viable reason for her to recite the incantation. In other words, it is inconceivable that this flower seller, Ms. Kira, could be a witch. However, it does make sense that Espella could be a witch. After all, why would you not just incinerate two people that were right in front of you and then stand around like a goof? Stand around like a goof, drop your milk, drop your lantern. Is Kira really not a witch? Inquisitor Barnum just Gyakten Saibond this entire Saibon Gyaktu. Just what I'd expect. Sasuga Labyrinthia no Ken no Seigi. Yes, I am available for translations. Could you not, lady?
That's right. You all heard it. It's just as Inquisitor Barnum said. Me, a witch. The idea is laughable.
Witches are known to be very clumsy, just like Espella. Are they? But that's what she would do if she was a witch. Obviously, has to not do that to prove she can't possibly be a witch. The circle goes all the way around, like a circle. Ooh, we were so close, too. I can't believe Inquisitor Barnum. Can't he see it? You just have to take one good look at her. It's obvious she's the real witch here. Remember, Mr. Wright, at times like this, a cool head will prevail. Mr. Layton, I'm sure you have had to fight your way out of circumstances such as these many times before. This situation is no different. As a defense attorney, what would you usually do at such a time? I would ask my assistant to summon a ghost. What would I usually do? Of course. There's only one thing that can get me out of this, of a situation like this. Supernatural powers. Come on, Mia. Oh, I have to Chesuban Kurikaishite. Okay. Flip this case on its head and think outside the box. I forgot. It's actually not Phoenix Wright, it's Umineko. It would seem the defense has nothing further to add. Because, of course, that's because everyone knows the truth. They know that girl right there is the real witch. That settles it then. Go ahead and deliver your verdict, my lord.
Objection!
The situation is exactly as you described. It really doesn't make much sense for the witch to have used a mirror. Regardless, the defense still maintains that Ms. Kira did utter that incantation and make herself reappear. Now the question is, for what reason? If she really didn't have to use that spell, then why did she use it in the first place? If I can find the answer to that question, then this entire case will start to unravel. She ran out of MP, that's all. Most fascinating. Very well. Allow us to hear this theory of yours. Tell the court why it was necessary for the witch to appear at the crime scene. Well, we're still in the game. We're not meta, we're in the game. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. I mean, it could be any one of these. I guess become a witness kind of makes the most sense. The answer is obvious. She must have wanted to become a witness herself. Sir Blue Knight, do not slam your hands down on the desk unless you have a strong point to make. The same goes for your mouth. Don't waste your breath on such nonsense. Huh? Have a look at the number of witnesses. We already have 4 other willing witnesses. Becoming a witness on purpose would accomplish nothing. She may as well have sat in the stands and watched the trial. Yes, but people don't always do stuff that makes sense. Well, you don't know that for sure. Nope, he's absolutely right. If a witch could use that spell, why is she even here to begin with? Yeah, it doesn't make sense that she would need to give herself an alibi. Really? I don't know. Defender, something tells me you must be thinking something along the lines of, he is absolutely right. Ugh. Please quit reading my mind, Your Honor. No. Alright. Cover up her crime doesn't make any sense. I'm going to say to give herself an alibi. She was trying to give herself an alibi. What would that alibi have been? Well, just give me a minute. I'm getting to that part. Dabbing deny. That will not be necessary. Why would she have needed an alibi if nobody could have seen her to begin with? I know that! What does to cover up her crime mean? What does that even mean? Okay, come on. I can't think of any other possibility except for the ones that I've tried that were wrong, even though they were right. Isn't it obvious? She was trying to cover up her own crime. Oh, is that right? Tell me, why would she do that? Well, just give me a minute. I'm getting to that part. Dabbing slam. That will not be necessary. Is this also wrong? What would she have to hide if no one could have seen her to begin with? I really don't understand this question. No matter how you look at it, there'd be no reason for me to reappear, assuming that's true for all three of these. Erg, I can't argue with her there. Don't you shake your head at me. Pardon the interruption, but that's not necessarily the case. Mr. Layton. Explain yourself, Sir Top Hat. I did remove genius from the stream title. Maybe you needed to fail twice? Who knows? There's no logic. This is the logicless Phoenix Wright game. You have stated that Miss Kira had no reason to reappear. However, the situation changed and it became necessary for her to show herself. That is unrelated to the answer to the question that I just gave. Unrelated. The situation changed and she had to reveal herself. That was not an option. Huh? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you mean. Neither does He-Tan. It would seem the defense must clarify their argument with evidence. Mr. Wright, I believe Miss Kira did not intend to reveal herself at the crime scene. Rather, that something occurred which forced this young lady to make herself reappear. What was so important that she had to reappear and risk being spotted? Lost her glasses? She couldn't see where she was going, and you can't see as well when you're invisible? Wait, is that actually it? That her glasses were invisible, so she couldn't see through them? I don't know what this is! What is this? What is it? That's so stupid, but is it the answer? Watching me on your invisible monitor is more difficult than watching me on the visible one. Did she touch? Was that it? She was about to... It really was the glasses. You usually wear glasses, is that correct? Huh? Flowers are the opposite of carrots. I eat so many flowers that my eyesight became bad. It's like I already told you, I lost my glasses a few days ago. Are you absolutely sure about that? Only witches lose their glasses. I probably already told you this, but my glasses are invisible. Or did you not, in fact, lose them tonight, during the crime? Of course not. Perhaps you accidentally dropped them while you were committing the crime. Then, as you were attempting to make your escape, you noticed they were gone. Therefore, you made yourself reappear in order to search for your missing glasses. So that's different than what I was saying. I was saying that she couldn't see while her glasses were invisible, but she could. She could. Her invisible glasses still corrected her vision, but then they fell off. How absurd! Such baseless conjecture. Looking through her invisible is he going to bring it up? Please do. You'll be my hero. I'll change the stream's name to Barnum Style. What do you mean? Let us assume hypothetically that the witch did in fact drop this evidence. That does not explain what purpose it would serve to make herself reappear. It would still make more sense for her to escape under the cover of darkness. Unfortunately, Inquisitor Barnum, such a plan was simply not possible. What? Mr. Wright, do you understand what I'm suggesting? Yes. He lied. He means the reason Miss Kira made herself reappear at the crime scene. Okay, this is it. Is it? Is this it? This is it I'm saving.